We're in. Right, all right. Testing 1 2 1 2. And today on the Tim Marner Podcast Show, we've got my mate Paul Boys, the owner of Next Level Fitness in Sale. I'm gonna, because I've not seen you for ages, Hypnotherapist, Reiki Master.
Yep.
What else have you got going on?
Personal trainer, obviously.
Obviously.
Nutritionist.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a few other.
And advocate of the number 23.
Advocate of the number 23. Yeah.
Right, so
Yeah.
let's start off with the number 23, which is a bit random.
That, do you? Wow.
Straight off.
No, that would come out.
Fucking right off. I forgot about that.
Okay, yeah, let's go in. Where do I start with this?
When did you first know that that was kind of your sort of like number? In fact, yeah, because you can blow people's minds with this, can't we? But
yeah, we can. It depends how deep you want to go, because it's unbelievable. I remember telling you years ago when you were blown away by it. Well, I've got the number 23 tattooed on my arm for a reason. The day, it's a synchronistic number. People that are very closed-minded are just going to think I'm a fucking lunatic. That's their choice. Anyone else who's open to it, who's seen things like 1111, Make a Wish, or synchronistic numbers, all that kind of stuff, will be a bit more on board. So what happened was, I started getting into meditation. This was after an ayahuasca experience. Ayahuasca is.
Have you had ayahuasca?
Yeah, I've had ayahuasca. So I went and had this potion that's.
Tell me about that experience, the ayahuasca experience. Okay. Where did you go? It
was a guy who was trained by the Peruvian.
Yeah. Because that's where it comes from, doesn't it?
Yes, it's this. I can't remember exactly, but it's a vine from somewhere in the Amazonian forest, and then another ingredient miles away. And it's believed that the Mother Earth, nature, communicated to these native tribesmen and shamans on how to create this concoction called ayahuasca, which makes you release huge amounts of DMT. DMT is released from the pineal gland, often referred to as the third eye. And when you release huge amounts of this, you are able to leave the physical body.
Now, is that because somebody told me that your body releases DMT when you die? Mm-hmm. Is that right?
Yes.
I don't know anything about it, mate. Someone just give me bits and bats, so I am interested in that, to be honest.
I'll tell you everything that I know about it, but also I believe it, having experienced it. So when you die, you release a huge amount of DMT, which basically allows the soul, spirit, to detach from the physical body. So this is when, if you entertain that idea, it makes a lot of sense and why people talk about near-death experiences when they actually left the physical body and they were looking around the room, and there's endless accounts of people testifying how they were listening to what the doctor was telling the wife as the husband's laying there in a vegetative state, and able to repeat the words to their astonishment and all this kind of stuff. And there's endless accounts of doctors saying how, when the individual's being operated on, where they've been brought back to life, they could account for all the details of what took place. So it kind of makes sense. And so when you die, you release DMT, and if you fully detach and the body's gone, the spirit returns to heaven, higher dimensions, alternate realities, whatever you want to call it. So when you have ayahuasca and you leave the physical realm, or the vast majority of your energy field, spirit, soul, source, whatever you want to call it, leaves. So this trained shaman, was doing a tour of Europe. Now, this is interesting. So I went to see a clairvoyant. This clairvoyant is world renowned. People travel from all over the world to go to see her, and she's based in Cheadle.
Right. I've got a story to tell you about that.
Right, okay.
Right, because you told me to go and see her.
Did you go and see her?
Yeah, but I never told you the experience that I had.
What?
I'll tell you now. All right. We'll get. It's a bit of a tangent on this, right? So to put her house, she's got quite a nice little garden, hasn't she, at the front? Yeah. So I went to the front. I knocked on the door, and she opened the door. It's weird, this. And as she opened the door, she was she was exactly how we expected, right? This is the weird bit. She looked very mystique. So I sat at a table in the back, and the first thing I said to her was, "Oh, I like your green hair. It suits your mystique of being a..." Well, she started laughing, right? and could not stop laughing, right? Which made me laugh, which in return made her laugh. Honestly, mate, it's about 25 minutes we're in it, and then she stopped, and then she started talking about, oh, I'm not from this planet and stuff. And it's like she could almost hear herself talking about it, and then started laughing again. So nothing was said. I passed my money over, right? It was done, honestly. I swear to God, she never told me anything.
What?
So I got to the front door, right? Fucking dropped the mic on me. She went, I ain't got green hair. Boom, slammed the door.
What? Wow, and that was it?
That was it.
How did you feel?
Fucking weird as fuck. I didn't know to knock back on and say, look, can I have my money back? Or I don't know what went on,
wow.
but it must have what I needed right then.
Yeah,
and I walked off, and it was
laugh.
only recently that I looked at it, and people with green auras, it has something to do with God and spirituality and like this organic thing.
Yeah.
I must have seen an aura on her hair.
Yeah.
But honestly, mate,
So
I was just like, my head were like...
the kind of person who has green hair, she's an old
I know,
no. She's like your
But
grandma.
fucking hell, laugh, mate. You know when you laugh,
Yeah,
that
like
you just
belly
heal
laughing.
yourself.
Yeah.
That maybe that's what I needed right then.
100%.
Weird you said that, weren't it? I forgot to tell you because I've not seen you for that long.
Yeah, wow. That's possibly as strange as my experience. So I turn up and many things. I won't talk about all the details.
Yeah.
And she's amazing. If you're into clairvoyance or you're open to that idea, or you've been to see one, you know when, like an industry, there are charlatans. People that are reading responses and try to goad information out of you. She's not. She's not even looking at you. Majority of the time. She's just reading these cards and she's
the real
very
deal.
matter of fact. Just goes bang, bang. Yeah. You know, she knew that. My father left me when I was 9 years old. He was an alcoholic. I didn't know this at the time. But anyway, gets in touch with me on Facebook when I'm like 29. We thought he was dead, but he's not. Gets in touch with me. It was about 18 months after this had happened, and I've closed the door on him. You might be my dad, but nothing to do with you. You left my mum in the lurch. You know, I've no respect for that. Blah, blah, blah. As far as I'm concerned, you died a long time ago. Done. That's it. So anyway, she was just so matter. Just to give you an example of how good she was. She goes, oh, you did the right thing closing the door on your dad because he's not changed and he's just getting in touch for money. So make peace with it and move on. And like, that's either unbelievably inaccurate or accurate. And I was like,
yeah.
You know, anyway, so she goes to me and she goes, you are going to go somewhere soon. And like you say, you can kind of see us, she's translating what's coming to us. You can just see her brain working, listening, and then repeats information. You're going to go to a place soon, and it's a stone circle. You're going to go to a stone circle, and when you go to this stone circle, and she you can see the goosebumps up her arms. You're going to have an experience. You're going to know who you are, where you've come from, all this kind of stuff. I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking to myself, stone circle. Yeah, I'm interested in that kind of
You're
stuff.
pretty open to this stuff anyway, aren't you?
Exactly.
It's been a long time.
I was searching because it goes back to the number 23. Because at this point, if I'm honest, if it weren't for other people being involved in this story and actually me saying this has happened or them witnessing the 23 thing around me, I'd have probably thought I was fucking losing my marbles. I probably thought I was going insane. And I'm like, there were many times I was having conversations going, no, like, I bet insane people don't realise they're insane. So maybe I am insane and don't realise I am, but I do normal things. I'm quite normal. Do people think I was literally
interesting
having those
that, isn't it? Yeah.
No, I'm not insane. I can't be. I'm fucking my head's screwed on. I'm all right. I don't do anything weird, do I? Anyway, so I'm having those conversations. So it was very timely. I needed this. I needed to hear it from her. And I'm back and forth because I'm remembering this now as we go. And she said the first thing she sat me down, like she said to you, or said what you said. First thing, you're not here for the usual things. This is going to be a weird read. And I was like, all right, why is that? I didn't actually know why is that. I just needed someone. To say you're not a fucking lunatic. And she was like, you're here with the numbers because of the synchronistic numbers you see, and you want to know what it's about. And I was like, yes. She went, okay, good. And I was like, oh, fucking hell. So anyway, so she bang on the money. So back to the stone circle. She said, you're going to go to the stone circle, have this experience, and it'll be in about 18 months' time. Timelines can shift, my understanding. So it was about 2 years later, Danny, who you know, getting this tattoo done. So getting this tattoo done. And I'm speaking to him about, you know, I want to do ayahuasca, this, that, and the other. He's like, oh yeah, I'm interested in that. Anyway, so I've left that with him. I've had my tattoo done that day. The next day, a girl comes into his tattoo studio and he's like, oh, what are you up to the weekend? She went, oh, I'm doing an ayahuasca. And he's like, no way, me and my mate was tattooing yesterday, you know, want to do it, this, that, and the other. Is there any chance you can speak to him? I'm not short notice, but see if you could get us on it and I'll speak to him anyway. So she's asked the guy that's organised with this shaman to do the ayahuasca retreat, and he was like, message me, do you fancy it? She's going to ask this, that, and the other. Anyway, the guy that's organised it messages me and Danny, a little back and forth to make sure we're cool, whatever, check us out. Fine, we're on it, happy days. And it was in a cave. So we turn up on the Saturday in Derbyshire, Matlock.
Right.
So, and he'd been doing it all over Europe, whatever, and it's on the hush-hush because it's still kind of, is it illegal, is it not illegal?
Right, yeah.
You know, people aren't quite sure. It is illegal, but, you know.
What was it?
Yeah, it's a weird one. We all produce it, all plants and animals produce it, yeah, it's been made illegal. There's a lot of people believe there's a great conspiracy behind it. It's because people that go and have an ayahuasca experience or release DMT in some way, shape or form through the vapes or whatever, it makes them more spiritually enlightened and empowered and all this kind of stuff. That's the conspiracy. I'm not going to make my own opinion on that. That's what a lot of people believe. And it kind of makes sense. So anyway, so we're going to this cave at the weekend. We turn up on the morning, the organiser comes up, me and Danny in the car together, and he goes, just so you know guys, there's a slight change of plan because there's a couple more of you have got on the trip now. We're not doing it in a cave, we're going to a stone circle. And I was like, fuck, this is it. Like straight away I remembered what she'd said, you're going to go to a stone circle. So I'm on kind of high alert now thinking, fuck, this is it, this is the day. So so we get there, everyone's putting the tents up and the stereotypical spiritual people are there, you know.
The woo-woos.
Yeah, the woo-woos are there. And they're not really my crowd, to be perfectly honest.
They're all right, aren't they?
They're all right.
I
don't dislike them.
Yeah.
But it's just not my bag.
Yeah.
Although I agree with the vast majority of the things that they believe in.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, we're different. They're probably vegans for starters and I'm not. So,
yeah,
you know,
we won't even get into that, mate.
So
fucking hell.
So anyway, okay, I'm ex-military. My tent's up in 2 minutes. They're all pissing around for hours trying to put tents up. Felt like I should help out, but I didn't want to get involved. And I'm just sat there, and the shaman's looking at me, and he's sat there staring at me. I'm just looking at me. He comes over and goes, "I have to watch you today." I went, "I know," and he went, "Good, just so you know." Taps me on the shoulder, and I'm like, "Boy, it was that kind of tap before you're in for a wild ride." So anyway,
did you have a massive spiritual connection with that guy? Or was he just there to guide you?
He was there to guide, and that's what a shaman does. A shaman, I don't know if it's what all shamans do, but this shaman, whilst taking this ayahuasca experience, takes half the amount of the ayahuasca that you do, so he can shift in and out. So he's still grounded or in the physical reality, but can kind of guide you. So he'd come up to you into your ears and speak and say certain things to bring you around if it looks like you're in a dark place, or just trying to help. How
many people around this stone circle? You're inside the stone circle or around it?
The stone circle is like, it's just around, it's a massive area, so we're within it, but don't think we're in like a Stonehenge thing. We're in an area and the stones are plotted all around in quite a big space. It's meant to be a sacred space. I can't remember the full backstory. It's Matlock, but there's a lot of stone circles and what do they call it? Those Neolithic stones that have been built a long time ago that have been put there, and you think, how's the fucking 10 tons of stone been put where it's put? What's the significance? All that kind of stuff.
What's going through your head at the time then? Are you scared? Are you apprehensive? What, like, excited? Are you?
Do you know what? If I had to do it again now, I'd be more scared because of what I experienced.
Right.
Because it was a wild ride. So then, no, excited.
Right.
I'm always excited by the unknown. So that always excites me. So I was excited by the unknown. So I'm quite excited about it because, you know, it was one thing Carol said to me. She said, after this experience, you won't feel as lonely as you do inside anymore. Which, like, I started welling up that she even knew that. I was like, fucking hell, do you know that? Because she was like, you play the game well. You're quite a popular person. A lot of people know you, but you don't have many friends, and that's how you choose for it to be because you don't really fit in with the norms. You don't like how materialistic people are and how shallow they can be and how negative towards each other they can be. So you keep detached from it, and this is why I don't have many friends.
Yeah. That's I've always liked you because you thought like that, because you do think, you know, you've got very good emotional intelligence is probably the best way of saying it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We've always talked about the 23 and you've always been dead open about stuff like that. Not many people think like that.
No, and I'm not, I'm not bothered what anyone thinks. Whether I told this story to someone and they're sat there and I can see the look on their face that they think I'm a fucking lunatic.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
That's their choice.
But at some point or other, you weren't okay with that.
No, just because it weren't what others, it was me, what I was thinking about me. I thought I was maybe a lunatic.
Right.
And that's what I was worrying, because I was like, fucking this, you know, this is, but like I say, my girlfriend at the time, Kim, she was seeing these things, like we'd go to the airport and we'd be flying from Terminal 23, even the seat that she booked, I was in seat 23 and all this, and she's like, this is freaky. She was getting freaked out, you know.
You've got to be alright with it, haven't you?
Yeah. And so, at that time, because I didn't know what the fuck it was.
Right, yeah.
You know, and just...
So this whole ayahuasca thing was a way of you helping you be alright with it?
Yeah, just getting some clarity on what it was. Because I didn't have a clue, and when you go and look the number up, it's quite a significant number. A film's been made about it, and people have made YouTube videos about it, because it's quite a powerful number. That's if everything is energy, everything is numbers. These are kind of frequencies of expression, and this expression of this frequency, or the 23 frequency vibration, seem to be moving through a lot of things, including, like, I don't know, a male and female have 23 chromosomes to make a baby, the earth's spinning on an axis of 23 degrees. There was all these kind of weird synchronicities with this
But for some reason, though, it resonates with you a lot. Because that doesn't happen to everybody, does it?
No, it doesn't. There are people who are obsessed by the number, but from looking into it, their life wasn't being orchestrated by this number, or it wasn't prevalent in so many things. So to give you an example, because people are thinking, what the fuck am I on about? For example, when my mum made me buy a house. So when I did my first operational tour in the military, I went to Bosnia, came back with a few grand in the bank because you can't spend your money. I would have, like any young lad would, piss it up against the wall. She made me invest in a house, put it down, deposit on a house, get a house. Great idea, and it really was. And this number, this was when I was in about 19 years old, so this number thing isn't even popped
it
up
probably
at all.
may be popping up, but you're not taking notice of it.
When we started going back through the years, we started to realise it was involved in so many things. My regimental number added up to the number 23. The day I joined the military was on the 23rd of September 1996. When I left, it was on the 23rd of October. Major events that happened on the 23rd. The house that I'm just speaking about was 23 Telford Street in Barron-Furness, and when I sold it, I made 23 grand. And it's like over 10 years later, if we traced everything back and seen all this number has just been popping up. So it weren't even that I had an affinity to it, I wasn't even aware of it. It was just there in so many key stages in my life, and still pops up to this day. So when I started, and I'll get to how I discovered the number shortly. So the ayahuasca experience. So
you sat in a circle.
They put the tents up. We sat there. We're waiting for the evening now. The shaman has prepared the brew for a week, and he has to be sat with it, giving it the intention and the energy into it and all that kind of stuff. You know, proper shaman that's doing it proper. So then everyone comes up one at a time, gets this like test tube thing like this, and they're told, you know, you have to do a bit of a fast and stuff and abstain from smoking and alcohol and any kind of foods that could interfere with the absorption of the ayahuasca. So I'm there ready to go, and it takes about 30 to 40 minutes to kick in. So everyone's got it now, and everyone's took it. 10 minutes later, mine's kicking in, and I've even shouted to the shaman, Danny was to my right, and I started to like notice all of a sudden the ground started to disappear, and I could see the roots of the trees, and they were all interconnected, and I could see then where the branches end, the energy extended, and all the trees were communicating to each other, and I'm like seeing all these weird geometric shapes. And it's night time now, because we're waiting until the sun's gone down, and that it's night time, and they put the fire out so it's dark, and everything started to bright up and come to life. So I'm like, and I'm like, Danny, and he's like looking at me, when you've just had it can't be kicking in yet. And I'm like, well, it is. And he was like, oh God. And I'm like, so I said, the shaman went, should it have kicked in already? And his helper's gone, no, not yet. I went, well, mine definitely has. And then all of a sudden I start looking at my hands and they start to lose form. So it's pure, I can see the atoms and I'm like, whoa, and I'm laughing like, wow. And Danny turns around and his face has lost form and he goes, what are you doing? And it's just pure energy. And I'm like, whoa, so I'm tripping off the box. And he's like, all right. And then all of a sudden, whatever he was saying next, because I understand now, as your vibration shifts, so you're becoming less physical and becoming energy, you haven't got the eardrums to be able to decode the information anymore. So that now, as I'm shifting, and then he's just turning me to going, and I'm like, I can't understand the words he's saying now as I'm starting to shift. Then all of a sudden, everyone just disappears. Like, I'm sat in this throne, like, whoa. Now, the strangest thing about ayahuasca, and anyone who's took it will know exactly what I mean, is when you're in a room, you're constantly on a subconscious level asking questions, you know, do I want this, do I want that, I'm sat down, and you know, all these things. When you're in this space, you know the answers to everything without asking a question. It's very, very difficult to get your head around that. So what I mean, when I was in this place, it wasn't like, where the fuck am I? I knew I was at the beginning of time. I just knew that's where I was. So I'm at the beginning of time where there's no end, no beginning, infinite space, and I just know that that's where I am. And then this being of light appears, and as this being of light appears, again, I'm not like, who are you? I looked at them and go, you've been there always and forever. So I know this energy. Didn't have a name or anything, but I just knew it. And although they didn't have a physical face, and I couldn't see myself because I'm me, but I was pretty formless. I was just energy. So as I'm looking, we're kind of making eye contact without having eyeballs.
Yeah.
It makes no sense, but whatever. I'm smiling and they're smiling back, and we're like, I know you. And they're like, it's kind of like with no words said, welcome back,
right,
are you ready for this and all this. Da-da-da-da-da. So anyway, so my first experience was, so I'm waiting, I'm like, okay, I'm ready. And like,
so is that who presented himself? Is that going to be ayahuasca who's presented himself? Or is that the being that's always kind of been there, your guide?
A guide.
Right.
One of many guides.
Because isn't ayahuasca meant to be mother ayahuasca?
So I came across mother
ayahuasca
right, towards the end of my journey. So at this point, no. So this is a being of light, referred to as maybe angels, spirits, guides, whatever you want to call them. They've got different names throughout the times. So this being a light is basically reassuring me, you know, are you ready for this? And I'm like, yeah. So anyway, I'm waiting, we're just looking, I'm like, and I'm kind of, it's almost like I'm like, come on then. And then all of a sudden I'm like, what's that? And I look down, and the blackness of the floor, which is infinite space, is moving up me. And it's funny, have you seen the film Lucy? With that black, have you seen the film Lucy?
Is that the, is it Scarlett Johansson?
Yes.
Yeah.
With that black starts
right,
to consume. It was that. So this is years before, so I didn't get it from that, because, you know, this Lucy was recent.
Yeah.
This blackness is moving up me, and as it's moving up me, and now it's gone over my hands and pinned me down, and I'm trapped, I know it's death. And as it's moving up me, I'm getting closer and closer to death. And I know the moment I'm consumed by it, I'm dead. And people would think, well, you know, you're in a dream state. What's it like, a dream? And again, the words don't do this justice, but when you're in that reality, it's more real than real. Because when I was reflecting upon the earthly experiences, I was seeing that as a dream state. So when you're at this higher enlightened space, whatever you want to call it, higher dimensions, greater awareness, connection to everything and all things, it's more of a real experience than physical reality. You look at physical reality and see it in a completely different way. It's like a fucking speck of sand on a beach of an experience, and that one human experience that we cherish so much amongst many other experiences that we're going to have. That's how you see it and feel and understand it to be. So as this blackness is moving up me and it's moving, I'm pleading for my life. And I mean like I would as a human, if a gun was at my head and I'm about to be shot dead, the same fear, if not intensified, and there. I don't want to die, I'm not ready, I'm pleading back and forth. And all they kept saying was, relax, let go, relax, let go, over and over and over again, back and forth, felt like for an eternity. And it's coming up to here, and literally as it gets there, and I'm there, I'm like screaming for my life, like this and everything that's now been consumed from there, I can't feel, it's dead. It's coming up to there. And I genuinely just accepted death. Genuinely in that moment, and it's a weird feeling. It's peaceful. It's unbelievably peaceful. It's such a weird experience. I just went, like, fine, and accepted it. My shoulders dropped and I relaxed. And just as it did, it went, and the light came over the top of me and pushed me down through. And as it came through, I appeared in this beautiful golden light everywhere. And in the distance, what people would refer to as heaven or another spiritual dimension or another reality was in the distance. And I'm just there like, wow. And the beam of light's next to me, and I'm like, and I just look and go, I get it. So it sounds like a bizarre thing to say, but I don't have a fear of death now, because that was the experience that I had. I let go, I faced death, I accepted it, and you carry that experience with you. So, you know, people will go, well, it weren't real, it might be a dream state, whatever. It doesn't matter. That was real to me, as real as if, you know, like I say, you held a gun to my head and made me fear for my life and then went about my merry way. It's just as real, if not more so. So that was my first experience. So I'm like, so kind of in a jokey, laughing way, I was like, right, well, what's next? I'm ready for anything. So so the next experience is where things get really fucking wacky. So we're flying through space, and this is quite a common thing people experience on ayahuasca, to whatever the destination is. I'm flying through time and going past all the planets. I can see them. I could even, like, I knew them as I went past them: Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and beyond. And I'm fucking really picking up some speed now. And all of a sudden I appear at this planet. Now the interesting thing is, what Carol said to me, I think I just mentioned this before or not, she said to me, you'll go to a place where you know exactly where you're from and who you are, and that feeling you've always carried inside of not belonging here. Why am I here? And she described it as almost like an orphan on this planet. Even though I've got parents and family, if you're like an orphan on this planet, that's going to go. So I end up on this planet, and again, I'm not like, where am I? I know where I am, and I knew everything about the planet. I knew that within the planet, within it, is where the life is. Flowing rivers, it's got a centralized core, which is like the sun, but inside it generates all the heat. The gravitational pull comes from the outside to the inwards to pull you to the inner crusts of it. And it's a huge planet, way bigger than Earth. So I know all this stuff about this place. And I'm just there, but I'm on the outer surface. And this tall blue being, he just stood there smiling at me, and I'm smiling. And I'm just like this, I'm home, and I'm crying, like, because I feel so emotional. I'm like, I'm home. And people have told me that I've spoke to in the past, that I've told their experience to, they're like, you were speaking to the Elohim. They're like spoken about in many scriptures, and when I've gone and looked into them, these tall blue beings.
The what? The
Elohim. They're spoken
never
about
heard
in
of
the
that.
Bible. They're spoken about in many scriptures. They're considered very advanced, along the billions of years advanced in terms of their development. They're at the point of physical development that's still physical form before energy. So they're a very advanced race of beings. So anyway, and the conversation was along the lines of, no, we're constantly watching over you. Know why you are there. You signed up for this. You agreed to go there. This is where you belong, and all this kind of, and I'm like crying my eyes out, like just the feeling of like, oh, this is home, you know. And I was like, I don't want to go, and like, you got to, you're there for that, you're there for this experience and a reason. You signed up for this. We're behind you all the way, although you can't see us. Know that we're watching you every day, every step of the way. So I'm like, okay. So anyway, so I leave. There was a bit more to it, but anyway, so I leave. So then Mother Ayahuasca comes up. So anyway, so the next phase, I'm flying along, then everything disappears, and I'm like, and I'm in a chair again with vines wrapped around my arms, holding me in. One vine around my neck, holding me. And people have similar-ish experiences. It can be quite intense with Mother Ayahuasca. She kind of like shows you who you are, makes you think and reflect on things, but really like brutal, like scary. So I'm in this. It's dark. It's like the under earth, and around there was all these like tribesmen. You could just see them all, almost all identical, banging like boom, 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 and the music playing. It's dead loud. It's getting louder. I'm like, fuck. And then in the background you see snakes passing through the trees, and they stop and look at me. And I'm like, whoa! And then all of a sudden, just from the back, this Mother Ayahuasca comes, and she's just so powerful. She's all green, and it's weird. She's she's kind of like black African, but she's green, so she looks like a black African woman, and she speaks with an African tone, and a lot of people have said the same thing.
Really?
Speaks with the same tone. I'd not looked into this because I didn't want knowing hypnosis and knowing the power of the mind. I didn't want any seeds to be planted.
Yeah.
So I'd not looked into any of this prior because I didn't want any of my experience to be
influenced by,
or even for me to be able to go, oh, it's because I seen that. That's why I thought that.
Yeah.
I had no, and I'd made that clear to myself from day one. When I do ayahuasca, I'm not going to listen to people's experiences because I don't want it to sway mine whatsoever. So I'd know, I'd heard of Muru ayahuasca but not looked into it. And after I looked into it, people have had very similar experiences. So she's there and she's screaming all sorts in my face as the drums are getting louder, and I've got to admit certain things, and she's like, why are you doing it? And most of it was along the lines of ego. And when I look back, and it's so funny, I seen someone post about this, and it seems like nothing, but it showed me who I was pretending to be many years ago. So on Facebook, when you get like posts from like 8 years ago and stuff, and some of the things you've written as statuses, I look at and go,
yeah.
Oh my God, you dickhead. Wow.
Yeah.
Such ego.
I've got a few of them.
Such attention seeking. Such
Yeah.
Post just trying to prove I'm the man, that I'm an alpha or whatever. I'm like, fuck me. And this was what it was. She was like going, "You're a liar. Why are you a liar?" Screaming in my face. And Danny said, because this was towards the end of the experience, so I'm becoming a bit more connected to my physical body at this point. Because before that, I'm like, I'm gone.
Right.
Out for 4 hours, 4.5 hours. Danny said, all of a sudden, I'm like, going, no, I'm a liar. I know I am. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I need you. That's it. I'm done. And I'm like saying all these things because I'm starting to come around a little bit. She's screaming in my face because it was the last experience. And she basically made me see who I was, which wasn't me. Like, why are you this? Why? And I'm just like, and it was just screaming back and forth in the face until I started shouting back at her, going, I am who I am, and all this kind of stuff. And as I was saying it, and all of a sudden she's like saying it more and more, and I'm like, she's like, in my face, let it out. And all of a sudden, I'm like, purging. So this is a big experience with ayahuasca.
What?
Purge. I weren't being sick because there was nothing really in me other than the ayahuasca, and it's been absorbed. But you just go through the motions of purging, like that. And
so you're retching.
Yeah, you're retching. But a lot of people do, and a lot of people retch. Like it's part of the healing, I suppose, and letting go of breaking down the ego. Whatever it is you're there to do and experience, whether you know it or not, that's what takes place. So I'm there purging, and she's screaming in my ears, get it out, that's not you, you're this, and all this kind of stuff. So I'm purging, then all of a sudden I start coming around, then boom, I'm there. I'm back with a group, and they've all finished, like they've been finished about an hour or so before me, and I'm like, oh, what? Now check this out, it's fucking weird. So we're all sat there and everyone's kind of chilling out, and I'm still coming round, and all of a sudden this bright light appears on me, almost like a fucking spotlight, and I'm like, and all of a sudden, the next thing I remember, I'm stood up, with my hand out like this, pointing at the person next to me. I won't say her name, I remember her name. I'm pointing at her like this, don't know her from Adam, right? And I've come round and everyone's going, why did you say that? Why did you say that? And she's there, crying her eyes out, and they're like, oh. Danny's got hold of my hand, like, sit down. I'm like, what's going on, mate? He went, just sit down. And sat down, I'm like, what happened? He went, I'll speak to you in a minute. It was dead awkward, and she's, and there's people around there, and people are like, why did you say that to him? I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So anyway, what happened is, all of a sudden, a few of them have told me this afterwards.
Just come back, forward to the mic a bit.
Oh, sorry.
Go on.
So anyway, I've shot up. I don't remember this bit. I blanked out. Turned to her and started ripping her apart. You need to stop hiding from your responsibilities. You pretend to care about people when actually you don't. It's just so you don't actually address your own problems, and started going in on her. I don't know from Adam, and she's not shared any information at this point. So I'm absolutely ripping her to pieces. And then all of a sudden, I've like come round. Anyway, so they're all like, why are you saying that? And she's crying her eyes out. She came up to me later on saying, I don't know who sent that message. I've got a good idea, but thank you, because you're absolutely right. Everything that was spoken, she said, so please don't feel bad. I was crying because it's the truth and I needed to hear it, so thank you. And I'm like, I want to say it's okay, but I don't know what I said. She was like, I got the message, and for some reason you were used to give me the message, so thank you, and this is why I'm actually here. I was like, what? So I'm like, okay. So, but I have no recollection of that. It's just what Danny and that told me. I was there just like, they said I was dead dazed and kind of coming around, but then all of a sudden, the way I stood up and the authority and turned, like my eyes like, yo, and then when I finished the message, I was kind of like docile again, like, what's going on?
Like you were open that somebody was using you as a channel or something?
That's what it felt like. That felt like somebody that needed to convey that message to her was fired into me. All I remember is light coming in, and then this light disappearing, and next thing I'm stood up, with my hands out, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? And Danny's pulling on my arm, sit down, and everyone's like, what have you done? I'm like, what? So yeah, it was like I'd been channeled.
Did you see that post I put on the other day about Ikigai?
No.
It's from Okinawa, and it means what your purpose in life is. What's your Ikigai? And it's pretty much, I help people kind of sort of brand up their Ikigai. What would you say yours was? Because I feel like when I talk to you, mate, you're more susceptible to things than a lot of other people. Like that, you're out for a lot longer than everybody else.
Yeah.
Something's kind of saying, look, you're on this planet to do something, Paul.
Yeah.
You don't belong here, mate, but you're here for a reason.
Yeah.
What do you think your Ikigai is?
At this moment in time, to carry on helping people, guiding them, empowering them, especially it seems a lot of females, is what I attract in my PT business. And even my PT team, out of the 6 PTs, 4 of them are females, helping them build clients. 2 of them have come to me with no clients, helping them build up. So it seems that that's my path at the moment, and it's going to keep expanding. But what I'm compelled and drawn towards is attaining such financial wealth that I'm able to do things like, for example, there's an army camp I've got my own that's been out of commission for a long time, and it's in North Wales, and I know it's for sale for very cheap because the company that bought it, they had permission to knock it down and build buildings on it, housing estates and all this. And then it got turned around that they couldn't because something happened with the local gas terminal or something. Anyway, I've got my eye on that. And what I want to do with that is just one of a few things I want to do. I want to turn that into a place that becomes self-funded, where deprived children from kind of like my background, you know, the council estate kids, that have got potential, but because they don't have the
good role models
or good role models, things like this. I want this army base to be a summer camp where for 4-6 weeks these kids come, they'll learn Reiki, they'll learn meditation, they'll learn discipline, they'll learn a sport, they'll learn how to agriculture, they'll learn how to plant food, make foods, cook, basic stuff. And I want it to have such a reputation that like a city and guilds almost, but it becomes such a well-known thing for the youth. If they've attended it and they've stayed the full course and got the certificate, an employer would look at them and go, I know what you're made of, I know you've got discipline, I know you've got morals, I know you're made of strong stuff.
That's good,
and that's my vision. So I feel, and I'm the kind of guy that when I've achieve that, I'll be looking at something else as well. But right now, everything that I do,
it's all on the same lines of helping people.
100%. Empowering people. Empowering people and empowering people that wouldn't get an opportunity, I suppose, I think is where I'm going with it. And everything, including my next gym. So it's sooner than I anticipated, which is great, but I'm going to be moving the gym that I'm at now to a big facility to take on more personal trainers, and everything is geared.
Is that what you've got already?
Yeah, it's great, but I'm pretty much maxed out with personal trainers, and with all the PTs that I've interviewed and turned away for reasons like, you know, this isn't the right space for you just yet, and give them some guidance on what they need to do. Come back in 12 months maybe. I've not got the space for them now.
How do you take a personal trainer on? What are you looking for certain virtues in that person? Are
100%. Yeah. That. Do you know what? And you'll know this about me anyway. I like to sit and have an informal chat and get a feel for them. I'm pretty good at feeling people out and knowing what they're about. And energy to me is important. So there are some personal trainers that ticked all the boxes from a certification perspective. We're even going to bring clients along so there wouldn't be an issue in terms of paying rent, and I know financially there would be a sound bet for me. However, for my environment and the energy and the team that I want
and the brand that you've
and
created.
The brand, that that is, next level isn't just get people in shape. It's all the PTs I've got, the relationships I build with the clients are phenomenal. The friends and clients, and that's what I want in every personal trainer that comes. Not just someone who's known as a bit of a beast master or gets great results because they've got an array of before and afters of shredded people. I don't want that, because more often than not, those ones that are constantly banging the drum of look at my before and afters, that are very, very self-promoting and not promoting their client, like a message rather, or an ethos. They can be quite egotistical, they can be, and they'll just disrupt the energy of it, to be honest. So there was many of those individuals that I turned away because I was like, you don't fit. And then 2 of the girls that I took on were no clients, so from my financial perspective wouldn't have been a sound move, but I knew they'd make it. I knew when I start throwing them a few clients because of how they carry themselves, the way they just what I got back from them. I know
you've chosen them because they fit your brand,
exactly,
and what your brand
100%.
stands for.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the most important thing. That they'll get to the point where they are financially secure and pay me the rent, and they'll testify to this. With especially the 2 girls that I took on, I wasn't taking any money off them whatsoever until we got to a point where I knew they were making enough money to be able to pay the rent. Which in one of the instances, not because she was a poor quality PT, but because she didn't have much of a reputation in the area, and she's from Bolton actually, and she's not from the neck of the woods. Been with the company for a few months, and she's like, oh, when do you want rent? Don't worry about that yet. Get your clients built up. Not took a penny off her, and she'll testify to that. And I don't want a PT, and this is in a lot of corporate gyms and that do this kind of thing, where the PT's in right from the offset, boom, there's an 800 quid a month. But straight away their focus is on fucking rent. I'm not going to make rent, not going to make. They get stressed out.
Don't look after the.
They're not looking at the product, then the quality of the sessions and all this. It's just the focus has shifted to rent. How am I going to get rent? And then they start to do desperate things, and then they're not the person that's.
Every single post turns into a call to action at the end with, here's my phone number, ring me because I can make you lose.
Exactly. And I make it clear from day one with the PTs that I've took on, I'm not driven by money. I'm really not. I'm driven by this brand representing something, because I know where it's going to go. Because in the next gym, when I have a team of 10, 12 PTs that are all different in their styles of doing things, but all with the same goal of a community fitness,
very cool.
Looking after each other, team players, no dog eat dog. It's you see that in so many gyms. It becomes so dog eat dog that PTs will start to bitch about each other, slag each other off, and I've seen that, and I don't enjoy that, and that's not what I'm about. So I'm making sure that doesn't take place, and if it did, I'd have a strong word with them and guide them the right way, or they just wouldn't be part of the team anymore. But they probably won't get through the door, to be honest, and none have yet, and they probably won't. So, and that's my vision for the brand. So then when I've gone into this next gym,
where is the next gym going to be?
It's in the same area. So I'm glad you said it, because it's not Sale, it's Altrincham.
Right.
It's in Altrincham, so that it's going to be more equipped. We've got quite a bit of money to throw at it, so it's going to be got all the bells and whistles, so the PTs will be very happy where they are. I charge the cheapest rent in the whole area because I don't want to exploit personal trainers. And they're all happy. And that's what I want to create. And when that's done, and I'm like, right, that's my home. That's my PT, gym, facility, got my team, happy days. Boom, then the next project, that army camp. And I want that to be up and running within the next 5 years. That's the vision. So who knows from there? I know I'll move on to other things and start looking at other stuff, but that's the goal. I want this country needs something where these young kids that want to do well but get forgotten about because they can't afford to go to universities and because there's no apprenticeships anymore. And
it's tough, mate, because I too many people want to be fucking models and nobody wants to be role models.
Correct.
It does me head in, and I'm just like, look, it's just like, start putting value out there. Stop what's it, and this is what you're all about. It's what I'm all about. We just need to sort of spread this message. I love everything that your brand's about, mate. You know what I mean? And it's such a, because you've got to look after people there. They're at such a vulnerable point, and with the wrong advice, fucking hell.
100%. And my industry is full of it.
Yeah.
Full of poor advice.
Yeah.
And there's many charlatans in the industry, but I don't focus on that. It's that is what it is.
Yeah.
Hey ho, and there will be in your industry and most industries. So you know, I don't like that to put me off, deter me, or even it's slightly disappointing. But I can't focus on that. Just got to do what I can do with the team that I've got.
You got to do your bit.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's exactly
what I do. And that's me doing my bit. And I'm not doing it to score any karmic points. I genuinely enjoy it. So when I take the girls away. I've told them this morning the next trip to the mountain we're going to conquer. Every year I take them up a mountain.
Oh, that's it.
So, you know, big group of them, there's always good 30, 40 of them. And it's great banter. And to some of them that have never been up a mountain before, you know, it's massive to
liberating,
them. And they love it. And we've been canoeing, go ape, all kinds. Now I have to do things also to make sure I can fund my vision. So I'll do retreats. And I'm flogging myself as a personal trainer, and I want the next gym, so I've got 12 PTs, and I'm making money, but I've got to make money for the next vision, you know, for the next thing to be able to develop. So that's where we're going. We digressed, didn't we?
It's fine, mate.
Good.
How do people, if they wanted to know about Next Level, where can they find you?
Just go on my Instagram page, paulboys-next level.
I'll bring it up, mate, on the video. So
cool, perfect. And then Next Level Personal Training is in Altrincham.
And you're doing retreats as well.
I'm doing retreats as well. So if you get in touch with me, if you go on my personal Instagram page, I'm having one created at the moment, a Next Level retreats Instagram page and all that stuff. So that's being done now. But if they just go and look at mine, you'll see in my, you know, the highlights reel, you'll see what my retreat is about. It shows all the pictures and videos and gives you a snippet of insight into what that was about. I've got 2 retreats this year. One in June, which is in Portugal. That's going to be in such a beautiful place. It's up in the hills of Portugal. It's got its own private lake, so we're going to go canoeing and such like. We do yoga twice a day, Pilates, guided meditations, and workshops where I'm talking about different things, spiritual, but not in the, what did you call it?
Woo-woo
sort of way. Real life spiritual. Because when I say real life spiritual, I'm not trying
I was thinking about this the other day about like Buddha and spiritualism, and I feel if Buddha was here today, like he said, look, do it your way, the way you are done. This is, you know, keep the traditional sense, but it doesn't need to be like that.
Be woo-woo.
Yeah,
you
do what's right for you. Yeah,
exactly. And I've put a post not so long ago, and I always speak about it. A truly spiritual person is just someone who wants to see self-development and growth, do good and be as good as they can be, but by no means nowhere near perfect, and you'll make mistakes and you'll even do some things that disappoints yourself, that doesn't rest easy with your conscience. But as long as you recognise that and try and rectify that, that's a spiritual person. It's not how many times you turn up to yoga, it's not how many times you've been to Bali or India or anything like that. It's good people wanting to do good things, and if you can, try and contribute in some way, shape or form, even if it's just a little act. That's a spiritual person. End of conversation. Everything else, all those bells and whistles, it's largely bullshit, but then also, if that helps you become a better person, do it. So if going to gong baths helps you relax and become a better person, releases you of stress and makes you less hostile to your family and partners, go and do that. You know, meditation, whatever. It's, and speaking about a Buddha, a Gandhi, or whoever, a lot of these spiritual gurus that call themselves gurus or call themselves highly enlightened and stuff, more often than not are very detached from reality. And what I mean by that is that they live a life of maybe riding around on a bicycle. I'm like kicking the ass out of the stereotype.
I get this, Matt. I get this. So I was talking about this the other day.
Riding around on a bicycle with the dreadlocks, you know, going to yoga, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And all these people that think then that that's what a spiritual person is going to fall way short of that.
Yeah.
And it's not that, because a lot of these individuals, very often, and I know this because of the area that I live in, you know, Charlton, Hale and affluent, where people have got residual income that are being looked after, and it tends to be quite a lot of relatively wealthy people or children of wealthy families that are considered these spiritual gurus that actually can afford to ride around on a bicycle, not really have a proper 9-to-5 job, not really have to look after 3 children on the breadline, and detached from the real world, the working class.
Agree, mate.
Do you know what I mean?
Totally agree.
And so then you've got these working class people that are wanting to better themselves or become more spiritual, but by their definition, and it's fucking miles away. It's not comparable. It's unachievable. But then also I would say you wouldn't want to achieve that, because if you go and become more of that individual, which suits them and where they are, if you become more of that and apply it into your real world, it's not going to suit, it's not going to work. No. So I think people need to stop thinking, stop holding in such high regard a lot of these supposed, and there are some good ones out there, so you have to generalize to paint a picture sometimes. So not all are given the intentions of trying to mislead, or they're genuinely, from their perspective, feel like they're giving great advice. However, more often than not, it's not applicable. I'm like 100% with you on that. And I've said, if you want to really look up to a truly spiritual person, look in whatever field it is that you want to achieve success, whatever by definition you decide, entrepreneur, property, whatever business, whatever it is, nail technician, whatever. Look up to the person that's in your field or close to it, that's a good person that does good things and contributes. That's the spiritual person you should be looking up to. And more often than not, those individuals are not calling themselves spiritual people or spiritual gurus.
Or an entrepreneur or a life coach or
anything. They're just doing it. That's it. And they're the true spiritual people in my eyes.
I'm all over that, mate. It's just like, I've got a certain lifestyle, and, back maybe a few years ago, I watched one of Wim Hof's thing, and I've now introduced, I get up an hour early and introduce the sort of holotropic breathing in the morning, which has changed my life.
Oh, it's massive, isn't it?
But I can't do that all the time, and I can't live his lifestyle. But what I can do is take that piece of information and apply it into my day-to-day.
And that's what it's about.
And
that's what it's about. Wim Hof's a cool guy.
I like him a lot. I love everything that he's about.
I do the Wim Hof breathing techniques. I teach
everybody
on my retreat.
All right, sick.
To take away with them.
All right, smart. You're massive.
You'll know.
Yeah.
Is to shift it from that.
Yeah, I'm tripping on some of them. Some of them, I trip out.
Oh, really? It's
cool,
Yeah. So
I think I got to maybe about 3 minutes holding my breath once at the end, and I was just like, at the end of it, I came out, I was just like, I don't know what the fuck happened then. I don't know if I tapped into DMT or something like, but fuck it, it's really powerful stuff.
It is. You're just connected, aren't you? You're more in tune.
So are these the type of things that you're teaching people then? Have that person got to be open to it, or are you like kind of...
Again, just so kind of relative to what we just spoke about, you gauge your audience. So some people are turning up to me and they just want a nice looking ass and some abs.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And there's nothing wrong with that. So I'll help them achieve that. Happy days. Some people are coming to me because they want some counsel, confidant, someone who's not going to judge but just give honest, raw advice, what they need to hear. And some people are coming for that, whether they know it or not sometimes as well. They just come in and getting the stuff together, but in actual fact I recognise where the true work needs to be done is in how they perceive themselves, their self-worth, the conversations they're having with themselves in their own mind. You start to become fine-tuned and recognise who needs what when you start to take them on. So everyone comes in the guise.
See, that's your gift, that, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Because not many people can do that.
No, I don't. Have I always been able to do it? I don't know. I can't remember.
It's something you've not recognised it. Maybe you have always had it.
Maybe. I think it's something I'm most definitely honed in, and certainly after ayahuasca and a lot of experiences like this, it's become much more of a honed in gift, and especially after becoming a Reiki Master, I can just read energy so easy, to the point where I can freak some people out and sit down with them and stuff and just go, and if I tap in, I'll be able to go boom, 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 almost like, not like a clairvoyant, but almost like, well, this is why you're this is why you're that, and they've not told me much, like, what the fuck, and it's, so you tune these skills in, but I think almost anybody can do that to a degree.
Do you think? Or do you think? I don't think that. Do you actually realise, it could sound really weird, how powerful you are as a person? It's like, and I had a conversation with my best mate about this, look, it's not the fact that I look at people and go, look, I'm better than you.
But
I do look at other people and say, look, I'm more powerful than you. Right? And I don't mean that in an ego sense or anything. Yeah. I just think deeper than you. Yeah. I've got more empathy for other people. I'm more kinder. I've just got this more powerful way of thinking about things. Yeah. Do you ever think like that? It's hard because I struggle with my ego like you, right? And when I say that, my ego kind of goes, look, I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying it like...
Well, I understand what you're saying, and by no means I know that's not coming from ego. That's you being very honest, saying the truth. Not enough people do that. I understand what you're saying. Can anyone become that level? No, but everyone has the potential to go and search deeper, or to have an experience that shifts them from the closed-minded, shut off, thinking life is just about getting through the day and going on holiday. And I'm not judging that either, because some people are just happy with that, and that's fine. Yeah. But some people just think on a much deeper level, emotional intelligence, are more spiritually connected, more open, have had experiences happen to them that people would either dismiss or it wouldn't happen to them. But I also believe it's because of where they are in whatever their journey is meant to be here on this earth, by their own soul choosing, or whatever you want to call it. They're here to experience what they need to experience. But if they had an ayahuasca awakening or something like this, could it steer them on a completely different path? Yes, I think everyone's got the potential for that to happen, but I suppose I'm not being quite as honest as what you just were. Yeah. No is the answer. If I'm truly honest, I'm trying to, because I don't want to then someone go, oh, well, I can never be that. Can. If you think you can be, you can be. If you think you can't be, you probably can't be. It's as simple as that. Yeah, it's choices, isn't it? Yeah, you choose anything. Exactly. I think choices define your character, and you can choose who you want to be. You're always at point of choice. You're always at point of choice. And some people will just choose repetition, saying repeat. Some people don't. They choose something else, or they choose something that's going to develop them, something that's going to push them, an experience. They look for other things, a deeper meaning, and all these kinds of. So those people, and there are those people. But I don't want to sound like I'm saying you people have got fucking no chance, because some of them might. And actually, if I look back to my 18-year-old self, although I still was very different and felt different, who I was then and who I am now is very different. So maybe me looking back at that email thinking, fucking what a bellend he is, and I would have thought that, a bit egotistical, that guy, he's got a point to prove. I know where that comes from, broken family background, so try to be the man, rather than just for acceptance and all, you must be doing well and all this, fitting in shit. So all that's gone. So I understand what you're saying. It's funny, and I was having this conversation with one of my clients the other day, because we were on about how siblings can be so different, and I was trying to explain to her, she was like, how come she's on about 2 children, like, well, one's a bit of a fucking nightmare and the other one's not. And I was like, well, and she was like, how can that be? Because I look at it and I went, well, I've got a twin brother and sister, and I know other twins and stuff, and how can 2 individuals that are often, let's just say identical, because we just think on physical appearance, but two siblings, whether they're twins or not, have been born very close to each other in 18 months apart or whatever, brought up in the same environment, with the same love, care, same opportunities, same school uniform, and same school shoes, and everything the same, be so different when you've had exactly almost the same experiences, but their perception of the experience, or how they respond to an experience from a very, very, very young age, be so different. And that's because the soul that's actually inhibited that physical body is different to the other soul. So then you've got different souls turning up. So if you have 2 souls in the same environment with all the same experiences, that soul and its expression of past lives, what it's brought into this world, that it can't consciously recall, but it influences its decisions. Its choices, yeah, exactly. So many souls are very different, with many different gifts and abilities. But then also, I wouldn't ever want to deprive anyone who feels like, well, that's not me, I haven't got that gift, because you might find it when you're 50 years old. You might, be doing what I perceive as the mundane, and then 50 have a fucking epiphany and like changes everything, which might have actually been part of the plan all along for that individual. Who knows? But
this is what I'm saying. It comes back to your sort of brand name, next level. I feel you can get to that level, right, and have this experience and be spiritual. But I feel what you do is next level.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Doing the Reiki, mate, and you know what I mean? It's like that. It's got to be 1 in a million or something of people.
Yeah.
Do you ever think that you kind of? I mean, because I've we've talked about the light bulbs and stuff like that, where the energy in the room and stuff like that, and
blew out
and stuff like that. And for me, that's. Do you ever look at that and just think, I'm different than other people?
Yeah. Anyone that knows me would say testify to that as well. I think. So I feel different. I know I'm different, and I'm not your conventional personal trainer, am I?
No, 1,000,000%.
Master that's sees and does things very differently. So I feel very different, and I want. Part of my vision for next level is to try and change the industry a little bit, and I do want to. I genuinely want to. I want personal trainers to come and work at my place. We're only in the early days, but I want personal trainers desperate to come to my place because they'll see how things I believe should be done. Less focus on how rich you can get a client, so the before and after looks sick, and you can self-promote and get your clients coming to you that are just so insecure about their bodies and focused on getting a six-pack and all that kind of stuff. It's the whole package, and the whole package is what I refer to as a triad being. We are all triad beings: mind, body and soul, mind, body and spirit, whatever you want to call it. And I certainly do this, and like I say, it depends on your audience once again, but I address all 3 elements, and you just know right from that, from the first session what we're going to be working on. So we're going to be exercising you and training you and getting you fitter and stronger, so your confidence and all that goes up. But also, I know from a spiritual perspective, we need to start working on things. We need to try and give you a sense of purpose, perhaps. So then these are the conversations you have. So you're dropping in conversation. There's been sometimes in a session where we've only been 20 minutes in and doing exercise, and in the next 40 minutes they've not moved, they've been sat there, we've been going ripping stuff apart. And over the years, I'd actually like to look back and think how many have. The amount of people that have changed either their jobs, from Emily, for example. Have you ever met Emily?
No,
anyway,
I don't think so.
Emily was a quantity surveyor, hated a job, through back and forth, then became a personal trainer, and a very good one. Now loves what she does. A solicitor I was speaking to at the time, who just should never have been a solicitor, but was because of her parents pushing her that way, and her husband was a solicitor, and the expectations she hated. We couldn't get anywhere with her body composition because she was so stressed out and unhappy and not doing what she needed to do. And she ended up leaving her job. Like, her salary was like a quarter of it from being a solicitor, became a primary school teacher. So then she had to quit training with me because where she lived was...
Isn't it weird that you're doing this, but you're actually helping people find their Ikigai?
Oh, 100%. And that's what I love. And that's why I want to do it on a big scale. And that's why my vision of this military camp and those kids, I'm going to give them purpose, give them a vision, so they're working towards it. So then I seen her 3 years. She had to give up PT because I was at LA Fitness in the city centre, and she was in the block above me. She was like handing me a note. I don't want to quit training. I went, no, this is it now. We're done. You've made the change. Being a primary school teacher. I bumped into her 3 years later. Couldn't tell you how much younger she looked 3 years later. Smiling, and she just give me a big hug. She went, I can't thank you enough. I was like, I'm so buzzing to see you and all this. She's a primary school teacher, and that's what she was destined to be. But others had swayed her because of their own expectations and their own influence. Her parents, we've sent you to university. It's about earning money. It's about this. It's about that. And I was like, it took a long time. It took about 12 months of us back and forth, and she just did it in the end. Right, I'm brave enough. I gave her the confidence to go and do it. Told her husband I'm quitting my job, and he's like, no. They rowed. She was like, no, this is what I'm going to do. So anyway, and she's in a great place. And she said,
because that's the one thing where it came from. I'll go back to this Ikigai thing. It's just like in my mind at the minute that it was actually from Okinawa, and Okinawa is the most place that people have turned to 100. because of the longevity there. Now, because what you're saying about you look younger and stuff, because you've got that from the inside, I think because of the happiness, you actually live longer and stuff.
100%. Everything's energy. Everything's energy. If you are in an environment that is not suited to your vibration, that you don't like, you're around people that you don't like, doing a job that you dislike, and we spend so much of our time working, how can anyone think that that's not going to quite literally be killing you? You age quicker, you're dying off, your energy isn't as high, you're not fulfilled, it's not your reason for being here, whatever. But then some people are made to be solicitors because they're motivated by money, whether we agree with that or not, it's irrelevant, but that's fine, and they crack on and carry on, but she wasn't. So I wouldn't mind looking back actually throughout the years, see how many people have sort of changed and done this, because it's a lot. I can't even think, there'd be quite a lot.
I wonder what, the reason for you coming on, mate, is that, I've always liked your outlook on life, and, from a personal training point of view and stuff like that, me and you've trained together, and, it's best personal trainer I've ever trained with, right? I see a lot of things coming up on Instagram and stuff like that, and, with before and afters, and I need people to understand that. Think before you choose these people, and get as much information as you can before you choose that person, because it's there's a lot of shiters out there.
Yeah, big time. I can't speak for many industries because I'm not experiencing them, but it seems like in my industry, the charlatans. It's
easy to get into though, isn't it?
The thing is, to become a personal trainer is very easy. The entry level is low. It needs to be raised. It needs to be massively raised, and it's not. So then it becomes a market that's massively saturated, and it's a shame especially for some of the PTs that are very good at what they do, passionate about what they do, become well read and experienced, and really want to make a go of it. With how many not so good personal trainers there are out there, these individuals are turning to these not good personal trainers, having an experience and going, I'm not interested anymore. Yeah. And if they'd have been in the right hands, it would have maybe changed their lives. So it's quite damaging, actually.
The thing is, I've got mixed emotions, right? Because they're not very good personal trainers, but fuck me, they're good digital marketers. And I'm like, holy shit, that is such a good fucking idea, that. And I'm just like,
fucking hell, mate, I'm going to these guys. And then you got Stephen, like, podgy belly with glasses, I'm your trainer. It's like, again, stereotyping, but, they're out, and that's the danger of social media, isn't it? I suppose my advice would be, because it's hard, especially for a lot of, let's just say, for example, now we've got the January gym goers. You've probably signed up to a low budget commercial gym, because you're not bothered that you'll pay an extra 20-30 quid a month for a better quality gym. You just want to start exercising because that's the base level of their knowledge. Unfortunately, more often than not, there are some good trainers in these commercial gyms, but for every 10 there's one that's okay or good, and they're fully booked and busy generally. So then what you've got is these people that are investing money into a personal trainer that isn't really passionate about what they've done. They've seen it as maybe a fallback, or they've gone into it because maybe it's easy money. They've heard they can get, I don't know what they charge, 25, 30 pound an hour, and thought, no, I'm having a piece of that. And then it's damaging, because then these individuals that I've took on in the past and helped the solicitor become a primary school teacher, it should have fell into the hands of someone else. These are conversations she probably wouldn't have been having, because they were just more talking about the triceps and and all that kind of stuff. So it's
what can people do, Paul? What?
So reputation is probably the most important thing. So I would do some digging. Don't just buy into someone's social media, because you'll know this yourself. If someone's got 10,000 followers, don't mean they know jack shit. What it means is they've either bought the followers or they've been posting a lot of selfies of their ass. That's the truth. I'd also look at, get a feel for the individual. So get a feel for them. So for example, I tell all my PTs to do this, and I do it. Most of the time when you go on my story, you will see my clients busting a gut. Hardly ever of me busting a gut. Hardly ever any posts about me.
Never thought of that.
Right, and I don't, because I'm not relatable. I'm a ex-military. go to work, I train every day, I live in a gym, that's me. I'm not relatable to Barbara and Stephen who works 9 to 5. I'm not relatable. So the reason I post about my clients and post so much about them and how well they've done and put in my stories, them grafting, is because those then are going, oh yeah, that, you know, look at her, you know, and people that watch my stories and watch them consistently, they'll see the changes in the movement and the strength and how much fitter these people are coming. They're like, oh, that could be me, because they're more relatable. So that's why I get my PTs to do it as well. Stop posting, and you see so many personal trainers. So the ones, again, it's kind of like the false prophets again with the spiritual gurus. A lot of the personal trainers are fit pros that are held in such high regard with huge followings that are selling programs that are just standardized that they give for every individual. More often than not are the charlatans, but they're held in such high regard because they've got a massive following. So I would say try and steer clear of that. Try and steer clear of these being influenced by what someone's Instagram looks like. If they've got pictures of themselves, loads of pictures of themselves lifting weights and looking ripped, means they can train themselves pretty good. Doesn't mean they're necessarily going to be able to give you any sound advice or coach you. And the personal trainers that in your area that have maybe got just 2,000-3,000 followers, 1,000 followers, whatever, even then don't let this define it, but I think it's a safer play. These individuals have not spent lots of money on getting the followers up. They have not sold a bit of the soul to get the followers up by taking endless selfies, you know, to get the likes. That's what does, gets followers and likes. You like, you think, well, she's hot, he's hot, follow them. Avoid them individuals, because if they're so self-promoting, generally, so self-promoting and been able to spend so much time and money into their Instagram rather than their own knowledge and putting more time. I ain't got time to go and get 10,000 followers. I ain't got time to be posting pictures about myself and try and promote and get more likes and more likes and more likes to put my own self-promotion up. What I know is my 3,000 followers, probably 90% of them are in my area, are engaged with me, trained with me, or in some way, shape or form know me in that area or bought into me as an individual, and that's why I've got those followers. And then that's why I'm like showing them my clients, this is what you're aspiring to be like. Look at Leanne, she, you know, and this is a genuine person, so she was laughing, she was watching this. She had no backside and she was a little bit skinny fat. Now she's got a massive ass because that's what she wanted, and she looks strong, and she owns her own beauty salon and she's smashing it, and her confidence is through the roof. She looks good, she feels empowered, and that's what these people are looking for. So look for that kind. Don't look for the self-promoting narcissists.
Tough that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, before we just wrap up, right, I wanted to ask you, what is an alpha male?
Ooh.
Because it's something I was like, again, struggling with it a little bit the other day, and kind of struggling again with my ego. You know, I'm constantly doing fucking yoga or something to block the bastard from coming up. But, and then I was trying to understand what a true alpha male was, and what does it take to be, as you are, like a leader in this industry.
Well, the word you've used there, leader, that's very important. My definition of alpha male, and again, as honest as you were, I agree. I'm an alpha male. I'm an alpha male. I'm a leader. And a leader gets the best out of people by whatever means, through conversation, through challenges, pushing boundaries, setting tasks, whatever it is, getting the best out of every individual that they encounter, especially if they're part of their community, network, peers, whatever. That's a true alpha male. Not someone who's imposing, not someone who can shout the loudest, not someone who's got the greatest, strongest physique or who can deadlift the heaviest weight. It's a leader that creates leaders, and leaders in their own world. So you're not creating leaders to go and then lead another pack. Creating someone who can lead their life, lead within their own realm, and they may go on to lead other packs, or they may just be the best version of themselves in their relative field, the best mother, the best nail technician, feel empowered, empowering people. Yeah, that's what an alpha male is, a leader that creates leaders.
It's like what we were saying before about an alpha male for me. Does it not for its own gain, or does it for the pack?
100%.
So the decisions make it for the pack.
Yeah. 100%.
And I think, you know, from
selfless, a true alpha male.
Yeah. And I think that's what I've seen since you've set up Next Level, that you can see that within your Instagram. Thanks. That it's about the people around it and stuff.
100%.
It's just, I think
the
it's
brand
hard.
is the people.
Yeah, and it's hard sometimes because you don't get that feedback from people. But like,
thanks.
you know, and that's the reason I've chose you to come on my podcast. I know we've had like shit, you know, we've known each other for years, haven't we? But I need, you know, more people like you. And obviously you're doing that by getting other personal trainers, teach them your way, and then just kind of going, look, we can't do this on our own. We've got to do it together and spread this message of looking after people.
Yeah, and you're right, but I also must stress that, and I open every one of my, I do workshops with my PTs, so we do at least 1 to a month, where I'm teaching them as much of the things that I've learnt. Yeah. So it's kind of skipping them along quicker. Yeah. So becoming more experienced, and they'll take some of my golden nuggets of information. And I always open up with, I am going to teach you everything that I know. Take with it what you want and use what you want, but don't do it my way. Do it your own way. Put your own spin in it. Take it, leave it, spin it, copy it. Don't copy it. Do what you want. I'm just going to teach you what I know. And like I say, as long as they stay in tune with the message of respect the other personal trainers, no dog eat dog, no bitching, no snideness, no brother and sisterhood. That's what I want, and that's what I create. And as long as they adhere to that,
tribe.
Be your individual. Be the creator of your own destiny. Have your own unique style as a personal trainer. Adhere to those principles, and I'll be happy. And that's it.
That's a good way to finish off, isn't it? Right. So I've trained with Paul. And I can honestly say the best personal trainer I've ever had. It's a shame that I've not been able to use it because he's so far away now. Well, it's not that far, it's just an excuse, isn't it? But anybody, you need to go and follow Next Level Personal Training. You need to follow Paul Boys Next Level as well. Get in touch with him. If you've got any questions or anything. Paul, thanks so much for coming on. Bye, everybody. Bye.